Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. Hey everybody, Suzette Speaks live on your radio. This is my new radio show. Shout out there. We all on Facebook Live. Shout out to you guys watching on YouTube. This looks like a raw footage, but guess what? That's what it is. We appreciate you being here. And I'm grateful to have Humble Lion on my production team. Yay. And we're talking about amazing artist, poet, producer. I don't know. I got to tell about 5 more things, but shout out to you guys watching on YouTube and on the Facebook. Trying to get a better angle, guys, but I don't think I can do it. There's, I'm gonna pull you back just a little bit. Give me 5. Give me 2. Let me just get the Facebook Live. Shout out to everybody watching. Oh, we are in this thing. Oh boy. I need water. I need water. I have better pictures than this. Sorry, talking about just want to make the audience public. All right, radio.
Ready? Yes, indeed, it's that time once again to welcome us. Suzette Speaks with Suzette Speaks Live. Greetings and welcome.
Thank you, Humble Lion. Pleasant good afternoon, one and all. This is Suzette live on your radio show. If you didn't hear a difference in my voice, y'all, I had an event last night. An amazing network social. Thank you to everybody that came. If you're brand new to the show, welcome, one and all. Pull up a chair, enjoy your lunch, stop at the bank, whatever you're doing. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am a part-time attorney, full-time, I guess, woman about town these days, hosting and speaking and doing all kinds of stuff. And so one of my wonderful events last night kind of took out a lot of the energy in my voice, but I hope you don't mind a little raspiness, y'all, because we're gonna have fun today. If you don't know what this show is all about, it's for you to enjoy, relax, learn something new. Hopefully we bring you some edutainment, a little bit of an informative conversation is what we plan for you today. I have an amazing gentleman sitting next to me. He is a playwright, an event producer. He is a poet, as I know him. He has so many talents. He's a teacher. He has such a vast background that I'm going to allow him to just tell you about himself. But he has an amazing event coming up this weekend that is going to bring poetry and the arts to the community. He has a passion for the arts, and I just love to see as he continues to evolve. Please welcome for the first time on the Suzette Speak show, y'all. Yeah, gun salute or something. Let's go. I'm really excited to have none other than Mr. Darius Daughtry sitting next to me. Hey, Darius, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
I am grateful that you were here. Hold on, let me get Darius a good mic so we can get this show started.
Are you switching his? Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. There we go.
Loud and clear, loud and clear. You sound good, brother. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastically well. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I know I came in kind of like a wind as I normally do. Yes. So ready, I had, like I said, a little bit too much fun last night at Politic and presented by Suzette Speaks. A shout out again to everybody who was there at Bahama Breeze last night, networking with professionals from across the county. And even like a lot of Miami-Dade people came up. And we just had a good time. Over 100 people hanging out, kicking it, and just getting to know one another in the community. And I know you're a man that is about community building as well. So please introduce yourself. First of all,
Yeah, I wish I was there last night. I couldn't make it. My name is Darius Daughtry. I am, like Suzette said, I'm a poet, a playwright, director, educator, organizer. I am the founder and executive artistic director of a nonprofit organization called Art Prevails Project. And we are all about utilizing the arts and education in the community, uplifting communities, creating spaces, telling stories, uh, elevating voices. That's what we do.
I love it. So Art Prevails Project.
Correct.
And you've been at it for how long with this?
7 years.
Yeah, man. I've been watching you. It's been really cool. I want the people to know a little bit more about your background. Where are you from? Where your people's from? All that good stuff.
So, listen, I was born and raised in Fort Lauderdale.
Let's go.
But I say, being on this particular, program, I would say I'm like an honorary Caribbean person, because all of my peeps are Caribbean. Like the majority of them, I went to school with. There's so many folks from Haiti and Jamaica. I graduated from BA from Boy Down High School.
Okay, go Cobras.
So,
okay.
like I would say, the non-Jamaican were probably in the minority over there.
Yes. Yeah. Full of it. So I always thought you had like a parent that was from the islands. That's not the case.
I guess
we blend right
in. I spent enough time at parties. And,
so you're an adoptee. I know. He
yes.
knows the culture, y'all. And I'm grateful. Again, Mr. Darius Daughtry is here talking about his journey, helping to bring arts to the community. So I want them to know more about Art Prevail. So what caused you to start that project?
Yeah, so I was a teacher for a while. So I found myself in the public school system, and I was teaching middle and high school. And while I was there, I noticed a couple of things. I utilized a lot of the students didn't have access to arts. In the schools I was teaching at, they didn't have access to arts programming and things. So what I did while I was teaching was utilize the arts, implement that, slide it in there. And when I wasn't supposed to, I was supposed to be teaching the curriculum, but I was doing other things.
So the arts, define that for people who may not know.
Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when I say the arts, for me, it's primarily through the forms of creative writing, and theater. Mm-hmm. So those are my two tools in my toolbox that I use the most is creative writing. Like I said, I'm a poet, so writing poetry, writing short stories, writing theater, things of that nature, and then acting.
Let me just tell y'all, see, Darius, he's trying to be very humble right now. Darius is a man where if you go on the Instagram, I'm not telling y'all to do nothing, just look Darius Daughtry up. The man flowerize, the flow, the lyrics as we call them, what comes off his brain and how he kind of delivers things that are just so heartfelt. I be like, is this just the middle of the day snack time? Have you always been a poet? Have you just woken up with lyrics on your chest and in your mind that you just got to deliver to the world? Has that always been like since a child?
It's been a while, but it started like I give props to
yeah. I want you to come closer to me. There you go. Yes, that's perfect. I'm trying to get you on this camera.
So yeah, when I was a kid, I was a little angry and depressed and sad, and a teacher, or I can't remember if it was a teacher or a counselor, somebody in in elementary school said, "Hey, here's a pad, a notebook, and a pen. What you're feeling, write it down." And so, I did, and from that, it kind of just sparked me just knowing this is where I go with my words, and I start playing around with words and doing different things and being able to express myself. Right?
I love it. So from a child, you see how important educators are, guys, and people need to encourage their children and children around them to enjoy the arts. I think we sometimes overemphasize, and in our culture, arts is a big part of it, right? Music, dance, and just general expression in different forms. I think that's something that we like to do. Sometimes we maybe put it to the side when it comes to, especially in an American context. the education is the most important thing, and we think of it as traditional education, but you learn so much through learning an instrument, through being in a choir, through, back in the day, they used to have choral speaking and things like this. It develops skills in kids that they use for a lifetime.
Yeah, and the work I've been doing for the past, 15 years now focuses on that idea of utilizing the arts as a tool, not just as a moment for expression. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
So you decided to bring Art Prevails to the people
yeah.
and talk about some of the projects that you've been working on through Art Prevails project.
Yeah, so we do everything from full theatrical production. So we like to focus on telling stories that are reflective of the communities of which I'm familiar with, and that's Black people.
Black diaspora, let's
Yeah,
go.
that's what that means, right?
Hey.
And so we tell those stories. But also we do a lot of work within the community. We do a lot of work in schools and community spaces. So I have an amazing group of teaching artists who go to schools, to parks, to different places, and they're teaching creative writing and poetry, acting, some visual arts, some dance, some music production, doing all these different things, giving this access to the youth in ways that they probably don't get unless somebody comes into the space and does it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I have been to several of your large scale productions. So the one I remember was a Shakespearean take on, or excuse me, your take on a Shakespearean play that was done beautifully. I would call it community theater with local actors and actresses at the Black Box at the YMCA.
Sure.
You guys have not been over there, the YMCA on Trunk on 6th Street, where used to be the location of the only Black hospital back in the day, when Provident Hospital, where when we lived in or when South Florida was a segregated community, I'm talking about up until probably like the 80s.
Yeah.
So looking at that beautiful building that now stands there, the YMCA, you decided to produce this wonderful play. Talk a little bit about that production.
So it was called The Merchants of Venice. And so I took Shakespeare's original play, The Merchant, and I set it in 1930s and 40s Sistrunk, but also in 1930s and 40s Overtown, which was called Colored Town back in the day. So I told the story of these Black people who actually lived and walked the streets, during that time. But I utilized the framework of The Merchant of Venice and made the story be about, the ideas of progression and fighting for civil rights and things of that nature.
It was beautifully done.
Thank you.
I had to bring my baby cousins. They had never seen a play before.
Oh, wow.
That was so important for me to, and I think that's another reason why you do, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you do. But there are a lot of places I think that are like arts deserts where, I just followed the Adrian Arch Center, which is down in Miami. I just followed, Broward Center for the Performing Arts. But a lot of people in our community, although we have beautiful programs happening all the time, don't necessarily either have maybe the disposable income or even the time sometimes to go enjoy arts. Why is it so important that people make the time?
So that's what you said. That is the reason why I founded Art Prevails Project, right? Our mission is to create equitable access to those things. And so when we do a production, we're not charging exorbitant amounts, and we try to work with sponsors to be able to get tickets for folks and people to come see these shows, right? That's why we do it, and we have a partnership with the Broward Center. So for the past 3 years, we've been doing production at the Broward Center. And part of that conversation that I had with them was that, Black people weren't coming to their space. What I said to them was that they don't feel like this is for them. They don't feel like there's something here for them. And so, we need to create this pathway that exists so that we can all be connected to it. And so, like you said, it is important because, again, the stories that are told, are reflective. That's when you be able to, have validation in yourself. You'll be able to see yourself, and that representation matters. You create empathy by experiencing the arts. You understand more about yourself, about others and other cultures, and on all these things. So the more we are engaged in these artistic experiences, the better we are as human beings.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. And I think art can move you. Now, being that we're on a radio station, big up on ourselves listening. This is I Radio. voice of the Caribbean. Suzette Speaks Live with my special guest, Darius Daughtry. He's talking about his journey as an artiste, as well as a I guess an ambassador of the arts for our community here in South Florida. He's done some amazing work. He actually has a bigger project this weekend coming up that I want you to start to touch on. So, what do you have going on this weekend?
Yeah, so it's called Our Voices Festival of Words. And so it is a celebration of literature, literacy, the power and the strength of words to inspire, to transform, to invigorate, to motivate, to do all those things.
Listen, words are powerful.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes again we underestimate what is coming into our minds and in our hearts through what we see. We have to be very conscientious people about what comes in through what they call the eye gates and the ear gates and all of that. So words are our gateway. Hello, somebody. So you have stuff going on. Was it Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
So give us an idea about what the programming will be like.
Yeah. So Thursday is an open reception. It is just a lot of local artists.
Where's it going to be?
It's going to be at Destination Sistrunk, which is right. It's on 1033 Northwest Sistrunk Boulevard. It's at 7 o'clock. You have a lot of local artists who are amazing. Actually, but also a few folks who will fly in from out of town.
Nice.
It's a good time. It's over. Like I said, the purpose of that is just to kind of as a kickoff.
Is it free? How much it costs?
It's not a lot.
Okay,
It's
praise
a lot.
God.
It's
Okay.
a lot.
Minimal donation.
Yeah. Or for less than an oxtail dinner, you can come through. Right?
Yeah, let's go.
And there's food and there's beverage there so as well. So come through, enjoy, connect. With like-minded individuals. It could be a date night. It could be a girls' night out or whatever. Come on through. You never know who you might meet there. On Friday we have in the morning we're doing a book fair, like an old school book fair, like you would be at school and go to just like that. So we're gonna be at the NSU Art Museum. And we're bringing in about 200 students from elementary
outside
schools.
Or inside?
It'll be inside the museum.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, so it'll be about 200 students from local elementary schools that we're bringing in, and they'll get a chance just to get some free books, to walk around, to engage with the museum, to do some art activities, and then that evening at the main library we have an evening with a Pulitzer Prize-winning poet. His name is Jericho Brown. He's out of Atlanta.
Wow.
And he won the Pulitzer a couple of years ago. He's an amazing poet. And so he'll be our featured guest that night. He'll be in conversation with Nadege Green, who is
I love Nadege.
Yeah. So she'll be in conversation with him.
She's a journalist, guys. If you don't know, Haitian American, amazing work,
so dope.
And a curator of I would call it Miami's Black history.
Yeah, so Black Miami Dade. That's kind of her
on Instagram,
yeah.
Black Miami Dade. That's a very interesting, especially for us if you're coming from the diaspora, if you're coming from the Caribbean. Sometimes we don't understand the history necessarily.
Yeah.
Some people do the homework, some people don't get to. They're too busy working and trying to make it in this society, so it's not a blame game. But if you want to understand more about African American culture, it's really important because I think we are an extension of that through the roads that have been paved and the doors that have been opened through our African American sisters and brothers. We are here.
Yeah.
So we got to understand especially the struggle that many had experienced before we got here, so we understand why the playing field looked like what it looks like. So Black Miami Dade is an excellent platform. But
and even on our platform, she doesn't just focus solely on African American, right? She talks about the Caribbean
influence. We've been here, baby, in Miami.
So she gets
Bahamians, my Nassau's, as they were called at the time. Let's go. Built Miami. Let's go. Coconut Grove. So it's important to know who we are. So that's gonna be an interesting conversation. So you said that's Friday. This Friday, like tomorrow.
That was free. That's free. That's free.
So just so you know, Friday, we're talking about arts in the community because, again, one of the missions of Mr. Darius Daughtry from Art Prevails Project is to make arts and cultural experiences accessible. So what he has going on this weekend right here is super important that we just inform you so that if this is something that you're interested in, you can take a look for yourself. There are always people that need, I think, exposure. Kids need exposure. Bring your kids, or if your kids are out there and they've never seen a Pulitzer Prize winning poet and things like this. This is important to see in terms of exposure. So you have Thursday, Friday, and then you also have
Saturday. Saturday. So Saturday is for sure where you're going to bring your kids, right? So that's from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. It'll be at Delaware Park.
Delavo Park,
Yeah,
which
which
is
is right. The
off
address is
Sistrunk as well. Hmm
2650
hmm
Sistrunk Boulevard, right on the corner of Sistrunk and 27th
This is
Avenue,
behind the
right there.
Urban League.
I believe African American Research
Yes.
Library.
Okay. So now
So
the
the
people
park,
know
right,
that's
right there,
Saturday.
Saturday, right?
Right.
So there, it'll be book giveaways. Uh, the first 300 people that come, you get vouchers for free food. There'll be conversations, talks on various things. It'll be performances. We have like it's going to be amazing. So last year was the first year we did it.
Mm,
We gave away about 500 books last year.
wow.
Our goal is to give about 1,000 this year, and Jericho will be there that day as well, doing a reading and a workshop for the community. But yeah, it's gonna be dope. So it and
This
it
is
and it
beautiful
and it
stuff.
yeah. So the whole idea is to make words and the idea of reading and books and seem not only accessible but interesting and cool and something that we do so that no one acts as if it isn't part of our experience and culture.
I love it. Guys, I want you to call in if you have any questions for Mr. Darius Daughtry, or if you want to talk about your experience with the arts here in South Florida. Where do you find your art experiences? Are you much more? We love a concert now. One thing with the Caribbean
Yeah,
American
yeah, yeah.
community, we love a dance, we love a concert. Do you go to plays? Are you able sometimes to enjoy different types of performances that are here? I've gone when there has been like the what is it? The kids that come from Jamaica. I'm trying to think which high schools they were, but it was like a national dance company style of performance. It was so beautiful, representing the different eras of Jamaican music. I have seen other plays,
Okay.
but I'm trying to think. Actually, this year, when was the last
See,
time
there you
I've
go.
been to a
See,
play or some kind of performance that wasn't necessarily, folks that are just hanging out? It's very interesting to think about it. How often do you guys go and enjoy the arts? Call us at 850-446-0562, 850-446-0562. Get you right in touch. I Radio. Suzette speaks live every Thursday and Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. Again, I'm here with my special guest, Darius Daughtry, talking about an amazing experience that he has curated for this weekend, starting today,
today.
as we would say, through Saturday, for those who want to expose themselves more to the arts. This is something that, again, is local, right around the Sistrunk corridor, and it will be from Thursday evening to Friday at Nova, and then Friday during the day at Nova at the Art Museum, then Friday evening at the main library, and then Saturday at Delavo Park. Delavo Park is right behind the African American Research Library on Sistrunk by the Urban League. And there will be, again, that would be outdoor. I'm like,
That's outdoor and indoor, and the weather's gonna be perfect.
yeah, I was
I've been
about to say
peeping, I've been watching.
the weather
I'm like,
this
yeah,
last week, I have
yeah,
been outside, baby. I was
yeah,
outside yesterday, and I was just saying it's been cool in the mornings too,
yes.
and we've been able to enjoy the weather around. If you are a new listener, welcome. We're gonna talk more with Darius Daughtry, I Radio Voice of the Caribbean, 94.3 FM Miami, 102.1 FM Fort Lauderdale, 102.3 FM North Miami, Hollywood, 99.7 Orlando, and 105.3 FM Vero Beach, Port St. Lucie. We all over, y'all. We are coming in strong today, talking about the arts and where are you spending time in the arts. It's good for the soul. It's good for the mind. It's good for our growth, and especially for our children. I'm going to talk to Darius Daughtry a little bit more about who inspires him now. What does he go to look at in terms of his art experiences? And again, the difference arts can make for the children when we're talking about where our schools are putting money and that discussion, as he has been an educator. I want to get into it a little bit more. Why are we cutting arts program? Is it good for our students to cut arts programs? And how you in the community can find new spaces like the one he has planned for today, this evening, Friday, and Saturday. Tell us again one more time where people can find information about the entire weekend.
They can check out ourvoicesfest.com or just Art Prevails Project. If you go to our Instagram, then then we're good. So Art Prevails Project has everything that you need. So, but ourvoicesfest.com.
Ourvoicesfest.com for more information. Y'all, I'm excited for him. This is a big deal. Second year. Again, thank you to all who came out yesterday as well. Suzette Speaks was doing her thing at Politicking, a networking social. Shout out to all my co-hosts, Senator Chevron Jones. Shout out to Harold Pryor, state attorney. Thank you to Rose B. Thompson Real Estate. I appreciate all of those. Thank you, Michelle, Mitch Mortgage, for coming through as well. I had Catherine Minnis from Pembroke Pines. So many of you guys. I appreciate you coming, spending time, and what we call fellowship. That was the old school term.
yeah,
We need community spaces, y'all. So it's super important to be in places where we are nurtured. And like again, art, culture, new experiences nurtures the soul. So we want to bring you more information about what's going on this weekend and where you can nourish yourself and nourish your family by enjoying this beautifully created and curated weekend here by Mr. Darius Daughtry. You can follow me on all platforms, Suzette Speaks. And don't go anywhere. We have a lot more Suzette Speaks live right after this. Awesome. What else do you want us to we're gonna talk in detail more about the weekend or what you need to ask about?
no,
Okay, good. I got open so that's fine. That's good. Shout out to you guys watching online.
Vacation Villas Runaway Bay, located in
I don't have it. Oh, is that it? Yeah, let me know if you use it.
Transportation are available.
Hello, how are you?
Vacation.com. Phone number is 876-840-9776.
Come on, man. Come on. Okay, what's your name? Hi, Michael. Oh, you was cool out in Jamaica. Now you back. We back. Let's go. Let's go. Take me next time, please. I was trying to bring you in this frame a little bit better. It's the worst angle ever, but we're doing the best we can. Shout out to those. Thank you, RM, for being here. Thank you for supporting y'all. Hit the like button, comment, etc., etc. And share. Shout out to you. Suzette Speaks Live every Thursday and Fridays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. I had an amazing time. My voice shows it. I was talking to people endlessly for almost 4 hours yesterday at a networking event, politicking networking event that I was able to curate myself, put together. No, you can leave it open. Let me breeze on. Let me breeze on, man. Rep up this door, man. Let me breeze on. Let me breeze on, man. Let me breeze on. Don't stop. In here, get warm, baby. So anyway, had an amazing time. I'm tired, though. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna lie. A little bit tired, but God is good. I appreciate you, Vincent Morales, for watching. He said he wish he could call in, but he need to go to the barber soon. Okay, no worries. I appreciate it. You find your happy places too. All right, wonderful. Hit the like button, he says. Y'all make sure you like, comment, follow. I appreciate you being here and for working with me. This is a behind the scenes kind of look, so don't worry. It's not full produced. So I appreciate you watching on Facebook. Hit the like button as well. Thank you, Darius, for being here.
Hit the like button and go slide to our Prevail's project as well.
I'll put it in the I was gonna make you a fly, all that. Oh, that didn't. This morning never worked. No, so I'm gonna make one, but you can get it after. I was like, Lord, I just have to get out of this house. Cool. Let's see.
That's 561-929-5234.
A quick question for the short film. That happened yesterday. How short are those? What's the reason on that? Is it like a 15-minute or is it like a half an hour? For short film. All right, on the back of the plan. Oh, so it's short. It's short plays. I should have said. Yeah, but you know something I'm thinking ahead because I'm thinking about some short films. Yeah. So I want to know how short. So there is between 10 to 15 minutes. 10 to 15. Okay. Right. I'm thinking. Yeah. You do film? I studied film. I've been doing it for 30 odd years. A lot of that is coming out of me, so I have some scripts that are okay. So that's quite a few. Yeah. But I want to grab the attention span of some people. Yeah.
real quick. So I was thinking about doing the 10, 15
Yeah,
minutes.
that's
Love that.
and so like I mean, even like what's they have like microfilms, so meaning like literally like 3 to 5 minutes, right? If you're able to kind of put the story, kind of have a compelling story within that short amount of time.
That's what I'm trying.
Yeah, yeah. Like a friend of mine's like she's her she writes and just directed a short film that just is what she just told me is the finalist of the Essence Festival for Film right now. So
How far are we?
I've been following it because I have that personal interest.
okay, cool. Yeah, let's keep it talk for sure.
A lot of my stuff is for the same purpose, reason why I did radio. I'm on a mission to uplift and inspire without being a preacher, pastor, whatever. So because film is so easy now, I was studying the real film from the camera back in college. Yeah, that was the harder part. No, it's
Now what's your
so,
phone?
you know, I mean, I'm thinking about nothing into that after being radio for 36 years. You know what I mean? Thanks. I'm on this challenge, you guess.
No, I learn something new about you every show. So this is perfectly great.
You're bringing people though, right in my corridor.
Listen, my May is full already.
Huh?
I have May booked out.
You're all interesting and you're all up my alley, basically.
That's what they're trying to do. Yes. So we have a
Ready?
Mhm. Welcome back. It's the Suzette Speak Show live every Thursday and Friday on Voice of the Caribbean I Radio. Welcome. If you're just joining us, I'm having a very interesting conversation with Mr. Darius Daughtry. He is a curator for an amazing event starting tonight by the Arts Prevail project called Our Voices Festival of Words. You can enjoy 3 days of amazing programming, and he's talking to us about his journey in bringing arts to the community. There are so many things that people learn by being involved in arts and watching and learning about themselves as they enjoy performance. So he's a master of words and very passionate about words. So no, I love that because I watch you again. Sometimes I might be on the Instagram with some poetry dog that just kind of how you thought of that, and it's so deep for like a what I would appear to be on the fly. And again, it stirs the soul, it captures the imagination, it allows us to see ourselves through different lenses and contemplate life really. So it's important. I was going to get to what the kids need from the arts because as a former teacher and someone who helped to nourish children through this platform of yours, how do you feel about what's happening in the arts, specifically here in South Florida? Are there enough arts programs for young people, particularly in schools nowadays?
So I'm gonna always say there's never enough. I think the more exposure, connectivity to the arts, the better. Because you can teach everything through the arts. So one of the things I do is like arts integrated creative practices where we can teach a science concept or we can teach a math concept through music and through acting, through poetry or anything like that, right? So, I think as the more we understand that the arts isn't something that is like an extra thing, but
Add on.
yeah, but that it is integral to our just functioning as human beings, and not only just on a academic level, but on a higher level, a spiritual level, like an emotional, level. That's we need to be able to connect to those things.
I think especially, and adding on to that wonderful point you just made, especially in the African diaspora, when we connect to sound, to the drum, to different styles of music, even from the pulpit to the party, there's something that opens up inside of us when it comes to different forms of arts. Can you talk about that as far as a spiritual practice?
We may get in trouble now. So when you think about the school system, especially here in America, right? It was never originally designed for us, right? And so the way that it is situated and the way that they have it is it's to create just worker bees, right? It's the idea is that you sit down, listen, do what we say. Okay, give us this information. And so, and the more that's the case, and when you talk about when they first started building schools for Black folks in America, and they had the ability to learn, and what that was like, it was a lot different than what you see today. It felt a lot more like community. Oftentimes, you would have one school with
All
all
age kids,
grades
all
in
age,
one
yeah.
room, right?
Hmm.
And they were together and building and learning, and they were learning songs. They were, learning the Bible through the poetry that's in the Bible and the hymns, and all these different things. And so, when we get to what we do in school today, that environment and the trust. I was a teacher for 10 years. It isn't the most conducive environment for real growth and real learning. And then, when you had the opportunity when you have the opportunity for exposure to the arts, that breaks up the monotony. That gives you this chance to connect to yourself and to find things out, to try and to fail. Because a lot of things about the arts is that you're probably not going to be the greatest at playing the trumpet the moment you pick it up. That was me. I played the trumpet. I they gave me the trumpet. I didn't want to play the trumpet, but they gave me the trumpet, and it sounded horrible when I first started trying to play it, right? And me practicing and putting the work in and learning like that right there, it sticks with me today. I don't really play the trumpet anymore, but
The
that
life
the
lessons.
lessons that you get from practicing the arts, from being exposed to the arts, from working with other people, like right, yeah, when I would do learning how to work in a play, right? You think like team building is not only just through sports, right? Yeah, you can get it because this production needs to happen, and it takes multiple people with multiple skills and multiple talents to get it done. So you learn those things, So I think, um, yeah, you ask, is there enough? No, there's not enough. There's never enough arts, and especially now in schools. But luckily there are organizations and people outside that are doing it. But we just need to continue to try to support those organizations and those people that are trying to provide that experience for our youth. And
Like yourself.
like myself, like it's shameless plug, right? But
Yeah.
for other people too, right? When there are opportunities where people are out there trying to do these things, like we need to support that
That's
because
important that
yeah,
we bring up, like I said, this weekend,
yeah,
Our Voices Festival of Words. Give us the website, ourvoicesfest.com.
ourvoicesfest.com. Yes,
Ourvoicesfest.com for more information. Again, it says literature, literacy, livelihood. We have an opportunity to expose our kids to something other than the video games, the foolishness
yeah,
online, the things that I know I sound like an old fogey, but it's real.
yeah,
We used to have more balance.
yeah.
I mean, that what was normalized now wasn't
No,
normalized not
absolutely,
even 10 years
no,
ago.
absolutely, and
So having this opportunity is important so
yeah,
that you can expose young people and even yourself
absolutely.
to things that are edifying,
Mm,
that bring out positive messages that allow for spiritual growth. That's the other part of it. I think sometimes the arts, again, get the back burner in schools where people are seen as, oh, choir, that's not important. Oh,
right,
band, that's not important. And then that's some of the stuff that the students look the most forward to
absolutely.
and even keep them focused
Oh,
so that they can do other things.
I have students. I know that I have students that would not have graduated high school if it
Hmm.
was not for
Hmm.
the other thing. They didn't
Yes.
care about this biology class. They didn't
Yes.
care about geometry.
Yeah,
They
but the
but
passion
like
for
I'm coming to I want to be in this play, and I know I can't take part in this unless I have my grades right.
form of
Yeah,
motivation.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really important. So if you're thinking about this, especially to those who are parents or caregivers out there, to young people, think about how you can expand their minds, expand their universe through the arts. We don't just need, kids that can add and subtract. I think the point Darius was making earlier about the humanity, the emotional intelligence of a well-rounded human being starts oftentimes with this type of education, and that's really what it is.
yeah. I'll say this, and I'm gonna speak to this particular audience. So when I was teaching, a lot of my students who parents were immigrants, specifically Caribbean immigrants, you know, the idea of them spending time, you know, working on a play or doing something like they're like, I don't know
We
about
as a
yeah,
time that.
that's a
We
waste
as
of
a
time, right?
time.
Like they need to focus on because they need to be a lawyer, they need to be a doctor, a nurse, or engineer, or whatever, right? So like but then what's so interesting, so many of those same students, I look at them today, now once they graduated and are adults, they are doing something connected to the arts. They went back and
Yes.
found that thing
Yes.
that they were not allowed to do, when they were younger. So I just encourage all of my brethren and sistren out there to go ahead
Listen,
and please support and uplift your children if they find and they show a propensity or an idea that they want to be connected to some artistic
artistic
practice.
pursuit.
Yeah,
Listen, that was the old school Caribbean parents. Hopefully, the new school want them learn a little
hope
bit
so.
different,
Hope so.
show a little more love to the people. Them. I don't know. We were so traumatized growing up. I can tell you about the number of things that I wanted to do outside of class. I defied to do it because, again, it was not given the same value as the maths and the science and the biology and all those other things. But it did keep me going. It kept a different side of my kind of spirit kind of uplifted along my educational journey. I remember going to Girls State for choir and traveling to Tampa and singing with 1,000 other high school girls. I still remember those songs to this day. The echoing of the voices, the way it moved my soul.
You say.
No, doody. But we have a little somebody that we try to. You can already see my voice is not even full through right now. But I remember it was like going on trips to we even in from Miami-Dade to Broward we had choir workshops with schools from Broward and schools from Miami. So even meeting those students like cross county was such a big deal, and it took inspiring teachers like my choral director at the time. Shout out to Miss LaRosa, who was innovative in how she taught. She not only taught you about how music works in terms of the science of it, right, but also thought that is a communal exchange and a spiritual. I keep getting to that exchange. That is good for the human spirit as well. We're talking with Darius Daughtry. He is the curator of an event starting tonight. OurVoicesFest.com is where you can find more information. OurVoicesFest.com starts tonight. Again, it is a literary experience. And again, the theme is Our Voices Festival of Words. So what's different between last year's and this year's Festival of Words?
Yeah, so last year was a success, and as opposed to me saying, what, let's just do the same thing and make it better. I'm like, nah, let me have more work and
Take it up a notch.
take it up a notch. And so last year, we only had the opening reception, and then we had the day festival that we have on Saturday. But I wanted to expand that and give more opportunity and do something bigger. And so that's when I, had the idea of this book fair, because we had a lot of kids come out, but I wanted to make sure that there is no barrier. So one of the things that happened, because a 7-year-old can't get to the park by themselves,
No.
right? So it needs the parent to come to bring them. But if I go through with the schools and during a school day and help them make it a field trip, and they can bring the kids to the museum, to the book fair, then bam, then I know that there are 200 students that have got these new books in their hands, right? I know that, and so that's
How
that's
powerful is
yeah,
that?
it's
Wow.
beautiful. Like I'm so excited about that part. Like I'm excited about the whole thing, but like I'm super excited about that because I remember being a student and being so excited about it's book fair day. I gotta ask my mama for a couple dollars so I can buy some books. Yeah.
If you guys went to school here in the States, the book fair, I'm talking about even to the early 2000s, 80s, 90s, even 70s, and the 2000s, you got your little money and you went to the Scholastic Book Fair. Somebody call me and let me know if you know what I'm talking about. And you had your $3 and you was gonna buy I don't know how I was like, is that lessons of consumerism? But it actually was a little bit of self-development in terms of autonomy.
Financial management.
Yes, and looking around, I want these pencils, I want this eraser, and I want this book.
Yeah.
But it was so beautiful. We had a lot more programs. I don't know if you guys remember Book It, or there was like a Pizza Hut program. If you grew up in South Florida, you read a certain amount of books, you got a pizza certificate.
Absolutely.
And you read up the books them and you go collect your little mini pan pizza from Pizza Hut. There was just so much more encouraging kids to read. So we're thankful to have persons like yourself. There is out here in the community with a book fair, with this wonderful weekend, Our Voices Festival of Words, allowing our young people and ourselves to have exposure. You guys, make sure you check out the website, or the website is ourvoicesfest.com.
Let me just say,
Sure.
Suzette, like it's not just young people. I want you to know.
Everybody.
Don't think that this is just for the kids.
Yeah, okay.
Like this is for everyone,
Got
right?
it,
And
got
this is for, you know, we'll have a workshop on Saturday for people who may be aspiring authors and want to find out about publishing or self-publishing. We'll have that conversation. We'll have a conversation with some of the amazing young Black media personalities. So we have folks who work at the Miami Herald, WLRN, and Janae Tate, who owns her own company, her own media company. So we'll be having
Shout out
those
to Janae.
conversations.
Hello News.
Yeah.
Shout out to Janae.
So yeah, so
And I'm gonna be on the next year then.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
praise
for
God.
sure. Yeah. So then yeah, so like this is for everybody. So come on
I
out.
love it. So
Make
all
it a day.
ages. We talking about kids because of Darius's background, but this is literally for the grown folks too. Everybody can enjoy the programming. Our Voices Festival of Words again starting today, Thursday. We have Lit Lounge. This is the opening reception that will be tonight, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Again, give us a location.
That is at 1033 Northwest Sistrunk Boulevard or 6th Street, whichever one you want to call it.
Yeah, for real. We call it
Yeah.
Sistrunk up
Yes.
here. And then tomorrow on Friday, there is a book fair from 10 a.m. to 12 noon at the Nova. That's Nova Southeastern. You guys know Nova over there in Davie. Nova NSU Art Museum. Oh,
So,
sorry.
so that one is a La Sola.
It's their second branch. Sorry, I was just reading the
but
flyer. My bad.
also, you know,
That
y'all,
makes more sense.
y'all can't come to that. Like that's
No.
not for like. I mean, you can come and just see and check it out, but that's for like the schools that we partner with that we're bringing in.
You said that. Okay, my bad. My
So,
bad.
so
I'm reading the flyer, y'all.
I mean, you
Stay
can just say
cold.
you can say how great the things you're doing are.
I
Right?
think it is amazing. But that is a pre-selected group of students for the book fair. So don't worry about the daytime tomorrow. Okay, got it. So tomorrow evening, correct me again. So evening will be at the main library, and who again is it featuring?
So it features Jericho Brown, again, who is a Pulitzer Prize-winning poet. He's an educator. He, travels the country, with the power of language and words. And he'll be in conversation with Miami's own Nadej Green, who is a journalist, formerly with the Miami Herald, has written for the Atlantic and many other publications. They'll be in conversation. Also, a Miami poet by the name of Christelle Victoria Roach will be there. She's currently is in LA, but she's coming in for that as well. And something that's really cool, we put out a casting call or since for short plays, and so we selected three short plays, and so we have a reading of those tomorrow night as well.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then it culminates on Saturday. This is for everybody. That is this Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Delaveau Park. Again, Saturday, 11 p.m. to 5 p.m. at Delaveau Park. That is right behind the African American Research Library and the Urban League. And at that time, it looks like a bunch of stuff: book giveaways, interactive workshops, panel discussions, poetry reading, storytelling, live art, food truck, everything you can think of.
Everything.
It looks very beautiful. So I'm curious as people check out the website if they want more information, ourvoicesfest.com. As we're looking at promoting the arts in general, of course, this is an amazing weekend to enjoy some arts, but tell us a little bit more about the scene here in South Florida. Where does Darius Daughtry go to enjoy art? Say on a beautiful weekend, I know where you're going to be. You're going to be at Our Voices Festival of Words. However, on a normal weekend, say we don't have a big budget, we're not necessarily buying the $100 ticket to go to, I don't know, whatever play. I mean, Broward Center has ranges of tickets. I ain't gonna put 100 on that. Maybe it can be 25 even, if it could be 50 even. But where would you go on a normal Thursday, Friday, Saturday weekend, whenever, to enjoy artistic expression in South Florida?
All right, so I'll answer that question in two ways. First of all, like I'm always doing stuff, so very rarely am I just going out and hanging out and enjoying.
So you yourself are working, so you're not always on the scene.
Yeah, I'm not always on the scene. But I try to support a lot of the folks that I know, and things that they do. Even if sometimes I'm partnering with them, but other times I try to support.
Yeah.
So I know I'll just say there are a couple of organizations that do some great stuff, right? So there's an organization called New Canon Chamber Collective, and so that is it's run by my friend. Her name is Portia Dunkley, and it's basically music. It's a chamber music of all black and brown classical musicians. And I'll say I put classical in there, but I mean they're playing violins and violas and cellos and, and things like that. And but they do like cool stuff. Like
Right.
you might not think that sounds cool, but
No, I do.
but they do cool stuff. So like they do a lot of events and a lot of programs and stuff. I know they got something coming up. I'll be partnering with them I'm not gonna say it. I think it's May or June. It's
Yes.
May or June. I don't know. But so I try to see what they're doing, what they got going on. There is there are plays, and so they're like South Florida has a lot of like smaller theater companies, and so you can if you go a great place to go is South Florida Theater League. If you just kind of research like Google that, and you can kind of see what's happening in these various short plays or smaller theater companies are doing across South Florida. So just that's a place to go.
South Florida Theater League.
South Florida
Okay.
Theater League. Just
Okay.
seen it, and this is all kinds. I mean, all kinds of things. I'll say that. Like I'm not vouching for everything that's
No,
on
no.
there,
Okay. We can't say we support everything, but people, I just want people to know where to go.
you can go look and find
Because,
something for yourself.
party is good, and
Yeah.
Memorial Day coming up. What's up? Everybody gets out, and we enjoy it, especially as Caribbean people.
Mhm.
But there are different forms of artistry, and
Yeah.
people want that. I think sometimes they don't know about it in order to support it if they choose.
Yeah.
So it's good to know that there is a vibrant community of
Absolutely.
folks offering a range of
A range.
artistic expression. And
Indeed.
again, nothing wrong with the Afro beats. I be on the Afro beats, so I love, what's up? We have a lot of cool Afrobeat events coming up even. And I've even seen, coming from the Caribbean American perspective, I've seen, steel pan companies where I randomly go get my hair done. I think this was off of 441. And I'm hearing this beautiful music coming from next door. I'm like, what is that? And my hairdresser is like, oh, they practice all the time. I don't know what it is, but beautiful sounds of the steel pan. And so if you are curious about it, definitely do the homework and see what you can find, because sometimes it seems as if we're in a kind of arts desert, but we're not.
No.
We have beautiful communities, multilingual communities. Shout out to our Haitian American brothers and sisters as well. Rich artistic history that they also, I know, bring performances. We all always have, there's stage plays that we do. Jamaicans love a comedy from from yard, so to speak. But there are all kinds of ways where we can just enjoy artistic expression, new ways of engaging with the arts is what we just want to, bring to the forefront of your mind, so you don't get stuck in, one type of event or one type of experience here.
Yeah, and I'll say always check with what your city is doing, because the city is doing something probably.
Yes.
And even if it's just like an art walk or a place for you to just go listen to some live music outside, there's probably something happening in your city that your city is
Lots
promoting.
of wonderful. Yeah, big up city of Miramar.
Yeah.
I'll be over there all the time for their art stuff. They have wonderful concerts. I'll be like, goodness, Miramar. The other people stepping up too.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sunrise. If you Miami Gardens has a beautiful Opalaka has wonderful programming. So yes, that's wonderful. If you're looking for new ways to just enjoy being in South Florida and enjoy the arts.
Oh, and I'll say my I'm sure y'all, I don't know, y'all had them probably already, but like Island Space.
No,
So
I actually, my friend Khalib, she needs to come on. I have
Island
it.
Space with Khalid and David.
Yes.
They have a whole museum that's
in the Broward
inside
Mall,
the Broward
y'all.
Mall. They just
Yes.
they just did like I went to the their what was it called, Reggae Genealogy Festival they had a month or so back. It was beautiful.
Yeah. So there are spaces, you guys, where we can find the art. So one last time, I want to make sure again, starting tonight, going into Friday and Saturday, Our Voices Festival of Words. Your final thoughts on this big event?
Final thought is the arts matter and your voice matters. So come on out and show that your voice matters, and that the more support that we get for things like this, the more things like this that we can do. So we need your support to show all of those folks who are helping us do these things that this is valid and this is what you want to be happening in your community.
I love it. Darius Daughtry here, the visionary, the creative behind this wonderful programming. And again, where can people find more information if they want to learn more about this weekend's festival?
So you can learn artprevails.com if you want to learn about just what we do, artprevailsproject.org.
Artprevailsproject.org. Signing off here. Thank you so much to Darius Daughtry. Good luck, sir. I can't wait to be hopefully enjoying something about this. I told him I'm emceeing 2 other things. I'll be hosting other things this weekend, so I don't know where I'm gonna fit in yet. But I want to support, and that's one of the reasons I really wanted to make sure we made the time here on the Suzette Speak Show to speak with Darius Daughtry. Are you on socials? Where can people follow you?
Darius Daughtry. That's me. DariusDaughtry. Darius Daughtry.
Awesome. And you can follow me too. Suzette Speaks 1Z2T. Always a pleasure. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's show, we'll be featuring the Lauderhill Young Professionals Network. Did you know that Lauderhill has a Young Professionals Network? This is what I'm saying. That's what we're doing here. We're trying to enlighten our Caribbean American community with this platform. Try to bring you good conversations, interesting conversations. You know what I was looking at too? I didn't get to talk about it because Siri's not in that. I was looking at Beyonce actually showed her real hair. Did you guys see this clip?
I saw
It
that
broke
was a
the
thing,
internet
yeah.
apparently. Maybe I'll ask the ladies coming on tomorrow about what that was about. And the Beehive don't come for me, but I'm gonna do it. But we always have great conversations here, informative ones like today. But I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you stay tuned in. We got Lisa B coming up next. This is Suzette Speaks Live signing off. We'll see you tomorrow, 1 to 2 p.m. live. Thank you so much. 94.3 Miami, 102.1 FM Fort Lauderdale, North Miami, 102.3, 99.7 Orlando, and don't forget Vero Beach, Point St. Lucie, 105.3. Suzette Speaks.
She loves to take it. I feel like she has fun doing that.
He's like, please stop. Thank you.
How fast I do
Thank you,
this.
sir. Appreciate you coming through. I hope this helps give you some buzz. We got people listening. They actually could tell us the amount of people listening. We have over 100,000 on average. So yeah, from here on our way all the way up north. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for tuning in. See you tomorrow.
Tomorrow.